Yo, 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 what up, YouTube Live? How's it going? Right now it's Saturday, July 31st. And let me double check real quick here. And yeah, I was in the middle of screening Titan Season 3. Oh my god, I can't wait to tell you all about it once the embargo lifts next week. So stay tuned on that. Thank you, HBO Max, for Titan Season 3 screeners. Yeah, but then this showed up. I think this was from the past 12 hours or maybe close to 24 hours ago. And so I'm a little late on this, but I just saw it on Twitter, on my Twitter feed, and I wanted to talk to you about it because apparently there's been a trend now. Thanks to Scarlett Johansson, who filed lawsuit against Disney over Black Widow breach of contract. Now every other actor is also like, thinking something similar. Maybe either suing Disney or suing their previous producers or studios that they work on, and thinking maybe like, hey, maybe there was some money that I'm owed, some money that I was promised but never got. So, uh, guess who joined the party? Guess who has joined the party? It's none other than Gerard Butler. You know him. This is Sparta! King Leonidas. Gerard Butler, who's also famous for the Olympus, or I should say, Has Fallen franchise. Remember that? The sequel was London Has Fallen, and then Angel Has Fallen, which was. Angel Has Fallen was basically just the Fugitive ripoff. But anyway, Gerard Butler has filed a lawsuit. I'm reading off of Variety, has filed a lawsuit on Friday alleging he is owed at least $10 million in back end compensation for the 2013 action movie Olympus Has Fallen. Oh man. Okay, here you go. Butler sued New Image and Millennium Films. So that's the studio behind this project, Olympus Has Fallen. But I believe Olympus Has Fallen, the distributor was, let me double check. Maybe it's Lionsgate, the distributor. Oh, it doesn't say here. Okay, I'll look it up later. But the producers are at New Image and Millennium Films, and so he's suing them, claiming that the producer had understated domestic and foreign receipts by tens of millions of dollars, and had failed to report $8 million that went to its own executives. The lawsuit comes a day after Scarlett Johansson filed a blockbuster compensation lawsuit against Walt Disney Company, claiming that the simultaneous release of Black Widow on Disney Plus cut into her box office participation. Butler's suit is more traditional Hollywood accounting case. Butler starred as Mike Banning, a Secret Service agent who has to rescue the president from hostage takers. By the way, Olympus Has Fallen, that movie was a Die Hard ripoff. It's Die Hard at the White House, basically. The same thing with that Channing Tatum movie, White House Down, co-starring Jamie Foxx. Um, I remember when both movies came out, everybody was like, "Yeah, this is the case of Armageddon versus Deep Impact all over again," where two similar theme movies came out, during the same season. So, I'm sorry, not Angel. Olympus Has Fallen grossed $170 million worldwide and spawned two successful sequels, London Has Fallen and Angel Has Fallen, aka The Fugitive Ripoff, in which Butler reprised the role. Producers, the lawsuit states, producers, New Image and Millennium, have earned tens of millions of dollars from Olympus, but refused to pay Butler a penny of the grosses and profits promised to him in the parties' agreement. The lawsuit states Butler refuses to tolerate defendants' misrepresentations and other wrongful conduct. Butler worked with defendants to create a highly successful movie franchise. He demands his fair share. According to the lawsuit, stupid advertisement. This is why I hate going to Variety, man. I just see Variety tweets pretty much, but I rarely go to their website. Their ads are just annoying. According to the suit, Butler's contract entitled him to 10% of the net profits, plus 6% of domestic adjusted gross receipts, above $70 million, and 12% of foreign adjusted gross receipt above $35 million. His production company was also entitled to 5% of net profits, and Butler was to receive certain bonuses for hitting box office thresholds. Remember, I told you in my videos about Scarlett Johansson. That's pretty much what a lot of actors do when they star in big studio projects where they know the projects will earn a big box office earnings, box office income. Of course, actors don't do this when they star in independent movies because independent movies don't make shit. But this is what they do in the contracts. They make sure that they get paid for their keep, for their work in it. Because these movies are gonna be forever, man, and their image is gonna be in there, and it's gonna keep making money. And so they wanna get in on that, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with making money, and so this is a tactic or a not tactic, a strategy or a practice, I should say, a practice that is very common. Robert Downey Jr. also does the same thing with his Marvel movies. So according to this paragraph, this is somewhat more detailed than what has been reported so far about Scarlett Johansson. What has been reported so far about Scarlett Johansson has not gone to these details. At least for this one, it says, "Oh yeah, I'm getting this much percentage for the domestic gross. I'm getting this much percentage for the foreign or international gross when it hits this threshold, when it hits $70 million or when it hits $35 million." And so it's more detailed than the reports about Scarlett Johansson. We don't know those details yet exactly. It just says Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney because Disney is not paying her bonuses because it's the movie's not exclusively theatrical release. It was theatrical and Disney Plus. So, but what's weird about this Gerard Butler's case is that why why does it take him freaking what 8 years? Why does it take Scarlett Johansson to battle Disney for Gerard to finally like, you know what? I'm gonna do the same thing. Like, really, dude? Where were you where were you 2013? Where were you 7 years ago? Like, I mean, like, where's your balls back then? No offense, don't kill me, King Leonidas. But yeah, that's a question to ponder. Like, really, Scarlett Johansson has to be ballsier than you, and then you can step forward and then, you know, try to claim what's yours too. I don't know. It just doesn't make Gerard Butler a macho man for doing this because he has to wait for somebody else to take the initiative. Um, the lawsuit alleges that Butler has received irregular accounting statements from the producer and that Butler has objected to the statements. According to the suit, Butler hired an auditor who found that the domestic receipts were understated by $17.5 million, and producers' receipts were understated by $12 million, including the $8 million that went to the executives at the New Image Millennium. And if you look at the box office mojo here, the very reliable source for every box office number, um, Olympus Has Fallen. The budget for that production was, and I don't think this includes marketing budget, but it was like $70 million roughly. And domestic box office earning or gross was $98 million, 925,000, and it took in $71 million, 344,000, and to the total worldwide box office is $170 million, 270,000. So basically, what he says here, the domestic receipts were understated by 17.5 million. So he's claiming that it's actually more. It's maybe $17 million more than what it's reported. Um, and producers' receipt were understated by $12 million, including the $8 million that went to the executives. Let's see here. So he wants 10% of the net profits plus 6% of domestic box office gross above 70 million and 12 million percent of foreign gross above 35 million. I'm not an accountant. I suck at math, but that sounds like a lot of money. The lawsuit also claims that the producers deducted the full cost of foreign publicity from foreign receipts, even though the foreign distributors picked up half the cost. Oh, okay. I think it says here basically what it's saying is that deducted the full cost of the foreign publicity from foreign receipts, even though foreign distributors picked up half the cost. So there are foreign distributors for the movie that are different from the domestic distributor, and part of the agreement is that they would pick up the cost of the production, but the producers deducted that cost. So the suit also claims that New Image Millennium instructed distributors to deduct certain expenses. I'm sorry, such that receipts would be underreported. Wow, if that's true, then that's kind of yeah, that's kind of evil, man. But then again, look what I said, right? Remember I told you, like, if companies or corporations or studios in this matter, if they could cut corners, if they could shortchange you, they will. They would totally do that in a heartbeat because it's all about the bottom line. It's all about appeasing their shareholders and investors. And so if that has to if that has to mean, uh, taking a bite or a chunk out of your actor's mouth and give it to the to pay Paul, so to speak, then so be it. And that's what they will do. But if this is allegations, of course, it's allegedly, okay. So nothing has been proven yet, but this is what Gerard Butler is accusing them of. And so yeah, he has filed a lawsuit. It took him freaking 7 years to do so. It took him Scarlett Johansson to step forward for him to actually do the same thing. So it's not really, you know, magnanimous of him to, like, oh, look at me, I'm Gerard Butler demanding my own. Like, sit down. Scarlett Johansson's doing that first. But still, though, it begs the question: is this gonna be a trend? Like, is this gonna be like the start of many, many more actors demanding their back end percentage? We heard rumors when I told you last night that apparently Emma Stone might be thinking the same thing. Or Emily Blunt from Jungle Cruise might be thinking the same thing and suing Disney. Um, which other actors will be doing the same thing? You know, uh, so this is very, very interesting. This will definitely lead to, at the very least, some kind of a reform in contracts between studios and actors. Hopefully, it will lead to some kind of reform, in meaning that, you know, hopefully this whole scenario or situation with Scarlett Johansson and Gerard Butler could lead to studios and actors moving forward when they're about to sign on to a project, that they would, you know, uh, come to an agreement in their fine print to make sure that this kind of ruraha or this kind of hassle does not happen anymore or after the movie comes out. So, but yeah, it's it's an interesting thing. It's definitely an interesting thing. I think, do I fault these actors for wanting more money? No, not really. Like, if it is in the contract, if it is in the fine print, then they should go for it. If they feel like they are being cheated out of their agreement, their signed contract, by all means, claim what is you think is rightfully yours. I would do the same thing if I were in their shoes. So we can have an argument on whether or not these actors are greedy. A lot of people online say, "Oh, these actors, man, they get paid so much, and now they're greedy. They want more money." Like, I don't think they want more money, as in, like, just out of thin blue air, more money. This is just money that they feel like they're owed. They feel like, it's in the contract. I'm not going above or more or less than that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so yeah, obviously, Gerard Butler and Scarlett Johansson makes more money than all of us combined will ever make in our lifetime. But at the very least, they're just pursuing what they think is theirs. So whether you view that as greedy, then that's your opinion, man. But I just see it as like, hey, they're just trying to go after what's theirs. let's see some of the responses from the from Twitter. I like seeing people's responses on Twitter. This is under the Twitter feed of Gerard Butler, the news variety tweet about Gerard Butler suing New Image and Millennium Films. And so Redis not a flavor says Scarlett Johansson with a lawsuit. Now everybody's reading their contracts like, wait, hold up. Communist Garfield. Orange Peel says, I rather naively, stupidly said Scarlett Johansson was not reading the room in a pandemic. I was wrong. Fair play to these guys for not letting themselves get shafted. No matter what you're worth financially, the principle that people can shaft you out of what you earn is plain wrong. Um, Jonathan Nigel is here from the UK. What up, Jonathan? The UK, yeah. My favorite team is Arsenal. Arsenal FC. Yeah. Man, the good old days of Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, Tony Adams. Arsenal right now sucks, though. Jonathan Nigel from the UK says, is it too late for Gerald to sue? I can understand ScarJo and Emma suing Disney because of the pandemic. No, not too late. I mean, Gerard has filed a lawsuit, bro. it's not it's not late at all. And look, it's like 7 years late. You can argue, but it took Scarlett Johansson to do her thing for Gerard to also like, hey, you know what? I can do this. I can do something similar. So but yeah, so it's not late. It's happening as we speak. Seamus Hughes says studios shouldn't bother with these guys again. What does that mean, Seamus? Like studios would just cut connection with Scarlett and Gerard Butler and just how would they make money off of their movies if they don't have star power names on their posters? I don't get that. I don't get that statement. Unless you're arguing that studios should try find the next new big star, but then what are they gonna screw over that next new big star too? um. So Dylan Albanach says it's tempting to be a little like poor Hollywood megastar about this, but actually, F the studios. And if a lot of actors sue, that could create real change that will help out actors at all levels. Because, it's happening to smaller actors if it's happening to these guys. So that's one way to look at it. As I've mentioned to you in the videos about Scarlett Johansson, this could set a precedent, moving forward. And there definitely needs to be a reform in the agreements on the contracts between studios and actors regarding their big projects. Daniel Newman, he said, breaking. I too am suing the studios for back pay owed, including but not limited to my Doritos ad when I was 13, my ugly Ginger's backpack line, my Mickey Mouse Club stickers, my prosthetic penis molds. I was only paid for the mini pocket version, and I know XXL sold out. Oh, good one, good one. Good one. Meanwhile, Scarlett, of course, with the Mean Girls uh, GIF or GIF, however you want to call it. Jonathan Nigel from the UK says, I hope they win against the big studios. Yes. Yes. And I hope Arsenal wins again in the near future. Right now, they suck. James said, I wonder how many comments this story will get versus how many the ScarJo one got. Nikki Windsor, look at what the Black Widow started. Pauline Belfast, good. Hollywood accounting is a con. Sydney said, me trying to figure out how Olympus Has Fallen made that much money. It was. I know what Sydney Sid is basically saying here. He's dogging on Olympus Has Fallen, but when the movie came out, even though it was a ripoff of Die Hard, it was Die Hard at the White House. I thought Olympus Has Fallen was fun, and it was R-rated fun. It was really, yeah, it was just an enjoyable action flick. I got what I came to see. The sequels, just like any other sequels, generally they suck. But Olympus Has Fallen to me was actually fun. with Morgan Freeman and Aaron Eckhart. And I think Melissa Leo was in it too. And the enemies were like North Korea. it was just it was just an enjoyable, mindless, fun action flick. So I think that's what resonates with a lot of people. That's why it made a lot of money at the domestic and international box office. Let's see. Abby Scott, can we get rid of the useless people on the top already? Want great TV and film all involved, actors, writers, directors, all staff pitch to the world, and see if the GoFundMe they set up pays enough to create the piece. Simple. Adam, I don't care about these millionaire celebrities, but I do care that a deal is a deal, and these huge companies absolutely can and should honor their contracts. Thank you. It's a matter of principle. I hope these lawsuits make it easier for future actors to get what they're owed. Um, Mark Solario, guessing he won't be called greedy by fanboys. Jonathan Nigel from the UK says, I love Gerald in 300. Yes, yes, brother. Yes, me too. Me too. Let's see. And you've seen my photo with Gerard, right? I think, where did I put that? There you go. I met Gerard Butler. There you go. Can you see it? This is me and Gerard Butler at the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills at the press junket for How to Train Your Dragon. And so it was cool. This was right after the junket was done, and I got I asked Gerard afterwards like, hey, can I take a picture with you? And he's like, yeah, sure, sure. He's one of the friendliest celebrities I've ever met. Trust me, he's a cool cat. He's a really cool cat, and so I do hope hope that he wins this case. I do hope so. Um, no justice, no peace, no racist police. I was just reading a thread about ScarJo. Way more visceral hatred and personal attacks towards her. I wondered what the difference is. Jonathan Nigel from UK said, "Wow, that's awesome! You met him. Yes, yes, I met him. He's a fine fella." And I posted this photo on Facebook and Instagram, and all the ladies were just like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" They were just swooning over the photo, and they kind of hate me for it. I was like, "I'm so jelly that you met him." Um, Scarlet Orange GIF. So yeah, Clyde says Carl started a revolution. Anytime corporations are forced to pay their employees what they agreed to is good. Yes, yes. You see, in 2017, there was a reckoning in Hollywood regarding Me Too and Time's Up, and I think that now there should be a reckoning regarding pay, regarding honoring contract, honoring agreement, honoring what's on the paper. Oftentimes these studios, these companies, they like I said many times, again, I'm gonna be a broken record now. If they could cut corners, if they could shortchange you, they will, because they don't have a fiduciary responsibility to you. They don't have a fiduciary responsibility to their actors. They don't have fiduciary responsibility to their workers. They only have fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders, to their investors. Um, so they will get to that. They will do whatever they have to get to that bottom line to make that profit, man. So I think good on Scarlett and good on Gerald. Did I say Gerald? Gerard Butler. Good on Gerard and good on Scarlett Joe for trying to go after what's on the paper. Not more, no less. Not if you call that greedy, that's fine. That's your opinion. But I just think it's like if somebody owes me money, I'll be like, hey, pay up, dude, pay up. You know what I'm saying? So and in regards to Disney, it's one of the most profitable companies on the planet. And last year they fired about 10. I want to say 18,000 workers during the pandemic. Let me double check here. Let's double check exactly how many people they fired. Fired employees from their theme parks during pandemic. Look at that. 32,000 workers. expanding the scope. Can you see it? The scope of its layoffs to around 32,000 workers as the coronavirus pandemic continues to pummel the theme park industry. That's last year, November 2020. They laid off 32,000 workers during time when workers need to pay rent, when workers need to survive, because it's the pandemic. They have to hold up in their house, and then they have to feed their family somehow, because it's all because the lockdown is everywhere. Disney's fired them, like, really. And now Disney played the coronavirus card, or the COVID card, in defense against Scarlett Johansson. Like, oh, how dare you, Scarlett Joe? You don't understand what it's like to run a business during the pandemic. Uh, Running a business during pandemic, does that include firing 32,000 workers? Is that what you? It's like, really, you want us to empathize? You want our hearts to bleed for you? Are you trying to score some sympathy points? I was like, really? So the COVID card that they played against ScarJo is just, it just infuriates me, man. Infuriates me. How about these workers? Many of them are not rehired, even after the vaccination already, even after the people already get vaccinated. So, but anyway, back to Gerard. Yeah, this is an update, and we'll see. Maybe we're gonna be hearing more news about more actors saying, "Hey, that project that I did 20 years ago." This is 13 years ago, right? Oh, no, 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 7 years ago, 2013. I'm sorry, 7 years ago. So we'll see how far back the next actor will go. So Jonathan Nigel from the UK says more actors and workers should speak out against Disney and other studios. Yes. So look, guys, I'm gonna end on this. I still love Disney. Okay, I love Disney movies. My favorite Disney movie is Beauty and the Beast, the original one, the animated movie. And my favorite Disney princess is Mulan, even though some people say, yeah, she's not really, traditional princess. But anyway, I still love Disney. I'm not hating on Disney. I just want Disney to be better. Okay, this is a criticism for Disney to be better. Come on, guys. You're supposed to be the happiest movie studio on earth, and you're pulling these shenanigans on your own actors? Really? Come on now. And the same goes with these other studios, New Image and Millennium too. Come on. Gerard Butler, he's the star power that had made you a lot of money. At the very least, you could at least pay what he is owed. So if you have gotten rich, off the backs of these people, do what's right by them. Do them justice and pay them. Pay up. That's all I'm saying. So let me know about what your thoughts on this topic. Thank you so much for tuning in, Jonathan Nigel from the UK. Tron, Toy Story, Pirates of the Caribbean, my favorite, exactly. So this is not a hate on Disney movies. I still go to Disneyland and stuff like that. It's a plea for studios like Disney and other producers and other studios to do better, to be better. And maybe this is the start of a new reckoning, in addition to the 2017 Me Too Times Up reckoning of Hollywood. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, share your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Let's rock this.